First time I ever saw you, I fell in love when you entered the room. And when the light hit your face, we were just kids, but I knew right away that I will be with you until I stop breathing. I will keep loving you as long as my heart's beating. Oh, hold me close, promise you won't let go. I'm nothing without you, I don't know what I would do without you. You are the one I choose.
So hey everybody, it's Mickey, and in today's video I'm taking you on a very casual walk around tour of my home to show you some simple ideas to fill your space with the season. Some small touches to uplift and refresh your home for spring. So if you are new here, I hope you'll take a minute to subscribe. I put out new videos every week about all things home. I always say that decorating my front hallway is my favorite thing to do for, every season and every holiday. Not only is it the first thing that people see when they come over, but it's also the first thing that I see when I come through that door at the end of the day. I always come into my house through the front door, and as soon as I open it, I know that I am home. It is such a sense of relief. I'm safe, I'm home, I can settle in for a great night ahead, and soon all my people will be home. We'll have a great meal together and we can just spend time together. Family photos always play a big part in my decorating, and one of the first things that you see when you come through the door is this blanket ladder here in the corner. I found this at Kirkland's and I always decorate it for the holidays. I always change up whatever picture that I have hanging from it, a little bit of artwork. This one, I think I got at Michael's. I can't honestly remember, but it couldn't be more perfect for my home. It has that silvery color green that I love so much with like a chalkboard background, and I just love those. I call them sunflowers. I just think that they're so pretty. So this artwork is a great backdrop to all of these family photos. I keep them mostly the same. Sometimes I change them out when I come across some special ones, and I just hang them here on a little bit of jute twine with those really small laundry clips that you can get at the craft store, and it's just one of my favorite things to see when I come home every day. Above the chalk painted cabinet hasn't changed too much since winter time. I still have my big blanket basket there with some blankets in cream and ivory and green. I changed out a little bit of the florals there by adding some lamb's ear and those delicate little white flowers. I just think that it looks so pretty up there. Down below, I have this great wreath. This form I found at the at-home store, and I have been using it, throughout the year to, change out for the seasons and for the holidays. So for spring and summer, I have added this little bird's nest that I made out of just a little grapevine wreath with some paper shavings. I've added a couple little eggs in there, and I think it looks so cute here on the cabinet. I added a big fluffy checked bow there, and it's very simple, but I think that it looks just great here. On the other side of my hallway here, under my mirror, I have my hallway table that I've changed out for spring. I still have my burlap board here, but I have added this adorable bird artwork that I just love. It gives all those little neutral vibes that are perfect for this space. I have this ivory stand that has some coverless books. I have that little porcelain bird there that I think I got from, the Target dollar spot years ago. And I love this bird cage here. It was the perfect size to fit in one of my small little nests. I think it looks so great. And this urn I've had forever. I have always changed it up, and I have a great little faux plant in it that I found at Michael's with some of that shredded paper that I always use that I get from the Dollar Tree. I always get a few questions about my Mercury lamps. Now they can be really pricey sometimes, but I have been able to find some really good options on Amazon. I have, I think, maybe 4 Mercury lamps in the house now, and I found them all on Amazon. They were very reasonably priced, and they even had other options for you to choose from. Some of them were, you know, like maybe had a more of a clear base, or they had like a blue base attached to it, and you have some choices on lampshade. Now, all the ones that arrived, they came in perfect condition. The lampshades were not crushed at all. I think it's a really great option to find some Mercury pieces for your home. I love them. I think that they are very neutral. They can go into practically any room in my house, and I just think that they're so pretty because when they're on, they kind of reflect the light out into the room, so it's really a nice touch. I've added just a few spring touches here in the living room. I always like to decorate my typewriters for the season. I have one here on my coffee table and one over there on my secretary's desk. They're just my favorite things to decorate anyway. So the one here on the coffee table, I have some coverless books there with a big bird's nest with 3 eggs in it. I love these bird's nests. I found these years ago at Pier 1. We used to have one less than a mile away from me, and I really miss it. It closed a couple years ago, and especially like around the holidays, I really miss shopping in that store because they had such really fun, different things, you know, that you just couldn't find anywhere else. So this is one of those wreaths that I found there a couple years ago. I have a big bow here made from that beautiful birch tree ribbon that I found at Hobby Lobby. I just think that is such a pretty ribbon, and I think it goes really well for a nice neutral spring touch. So over here on my secretary's desk, I have another little typewriter here that I have decorated with another one of those nests, a few coverless books, some greenery here cascading down the side, and some of those pretty wooden beads that I just love. Above this desk, I always have some of these favorite family photos. I like to sneak them in wherever I can. There's a great picture here of my dad, and behind there are some really old pictures of like my in-laws and my mom, and I just love these pictures. I think that they look so great. I have these out all year long. They are really some of my favorite ones, and they just make me happy every time I see them there. I have really been loving my dining room lately. It's kind of back in circulation. This is where my husband worked from home for probably, I would say, almost 2.5 years. He really has just returned to work since January, so I've gotten my dining room back, and I have really been loving it. I shared in my last video my excellent antique find of this little antique schoolhouse desk. I have dressed it up a little bit since the last time you saw it. On top here, I have a tray that is from this season's DECOCRATED box, which I'm going to be sharing with you at the end of the video. But I have a couple coverless books there with some old Bibles of my grandparents. I have this sweet picture of my mom when she was a really, really little girl. And I found the sign online, which I think is so perfect for this spot. It has that elementary school feel to it with H is for home. Still, I am just so thrilled to have it here in my home, and I'm just loving decorating it for the season. This table runner I got on Amazon. I will try to leave a link to it down below because they had so many colors, and this is just that perfect kind of muted silvery green color that I really love. I think it really matches well with a lot of the lamb's ear that I use in a lot of my decorating. So this was really a perfect find for me. It even has the nice little ivory color into it that I always add alongside with my green. And I think it looks really great down the center of my table here. I got a little bit of a longer length. I usually have it so it just comes over the end here, but I got a longer one so that it cascaded a little bit more, and I really love the way it looks. I do find a lot of peace with neutral colors. I think since I have switched over my home from those bright reds and golds, it is a much more calm space. I like to come home and kind of just settle in, and it's just peaceful. So it was probably one of the best things that I ever did was just switch over my decor. I cannot tell you what a change it has made. I think it has calmed me so much. I mean, I'm just a regular mom. I have 4 kids out in the world, and anymore, that alone just puts a lot of stress, you know, on your heart. And to have a place that is calm and comfortable has really made a big difference in my life. I have another Lazy Susan as part of my centerpiece for this table. I found this several months ago at HomeGoods. I really love it. It's like one of those big slices of wood. I have had it on this table since I brought it home, and I just switch it out, you know, for the season. So for spring and summer, I have this beautiful little angel here that I found, oh my goodness, years ago, I think at Pier 1. I also have this frame here that has a boutonniere from one of the weddings that my son was in, and I have this really beautiful candle that I just love. It has these cool wooden antiqued beads around the center of it, and I just think that it is a perfect addition to our centerpiece here. I think these place settings are really special. I have a bit of a book theme going on in this room. I think it goes really well with our little school desk in the corner there. I love coverless books. I use them throughout my home, you know, to add height to an arrangement. I just think that they are a beautiful way to utilize all those paperback books that we all have in our house. I mean, there's only so many that, you know, you can donate to the library or give to a friend. So this is a really great way to upcycle them. So on this place setting, on the bottom here, I have this beautiful green placemat. I use this all year long. I got these a couple years ago at Pier 1. This is a beautiful wooden charger plate that I got from Kirkland's. These dishes I have had for years. I think I originally got them probably at HomeGoods. I've added a little coverless book here with a nest with some eggs, some pretty eucalyptus, and some florals that I have just had in my collection. I've added a light green napkin that really matches well back to our table runner. I just love them. I think they are just so pretty. It's very neutral. I think it's going to be perfect to carry me through all summer long. A new addition to this space is this alphabet sign that I probably got like 10 years ago. I think I found it on eBay, and I've always had it somewhere in the house, and with the addition of the antique desk, I've brought it up here and put it here on my china cabinet, and I really love the way it looks. I have always, you know, used this space to line up different dishes, you know, for the season, but I just think that this sign is the perfect size for here. I think it ties everything together, especially with the book theme that I have going on here, and I think it's found its permanent home, at least for a little while. The kitchen is where we spend so much of our time, and I really wanted to keep things as simple as possible. I have really stayed true to those light colors of ivory with a little bit of green, and just a few springtime decor pieces that will be really simple to change out once summer months hit. Our table is pretty much the focus of our kitchen. This is where we spend hours, having meals together and just sitting down and talking. So I like to keep my table dressed for the season. I have some very simple place settings here. I have this braided seagrass placemat, a very simple charger plate, which is plastic. I think I got it on sale at Hobby Lobby for maybe $1.50. I have some pieces of my Rae Dunn dishes, a very simple dishcloth as the napkin, and a little beaded ring as the napkin ring. The centerpiece is the Lazy Susan that I always have in the center of my table. This one is from Target, and it's a really nice size, and it really spins very easily. Around it, I have a wreath from the Hearth and Hand collection, also at Target, and I added some of those real touch tulips that I shared with you in my last video that I got at Amazon. I think they are so beautiful, and they add just that little bit touch of florals to the wreath. On this, I really just have our napkins, our salt and pepper shaker. I have a little faux plant here in another Rae Dunn vessel, and this green glass bottle I found at Hobby Lobby. I have been looking for a green one for a long time. I can find clear, I can find blue, but green was just really hard to find. And inside, I have just put some lamb's ear with these really pretty delicate ivory flowers, and around the neck of the bottle I just have a wood bead ring with a little bit of a tassel. I have really been leaning into a lot of ivory, green, and stained wood in my decorating, and I just love the way that they all mix and look together. I always have this two-tiered tray here on my Rae Dunn cabinet, and on the inside I just simply have a little arrangement, a little greenery there that I found at IKEA. This adorable. Underneath I have my little bear there holding a very sentimental shell for me from South Carolina, and inside I just have a few candles, one of those white houses. I have a marshmallow sign back there, and this is one of my most favorite candles. Also, I found this in Luckett's. It has the best spring and summer scent that really just fills my whole downstairs with this sweet pear fragrance. It is just perfect for spring. On each side of my stove, I always have these two-tiered trays here. I just switch them out for all the holidays. On the one to the right, I have this sweet little nest with just one egg inside. I have a little white house here, which I just love these. I know they were really popular a few years ago, but I have them all over my house still. I just think they are just so pretty and simple. And then down below, I have a little arrangement there that I got from a DECOCRATED box with another little white house and a cocoa sign behind. On this tiered tray, I've kept it really very simple. I have another one of those little white buildings. This one is a church. I have a candlestick back there from DECOCRATED. This small white truck I found, I believe, at Hobby Lobby, and in the back there I have it full of some antique ivory buttons. Down below I have my Rae Dunn Hugs and Kisses canister with another one of those heart-shaped wooden bowls full of buttons, and in the back there I have some Hugs and Kisses sign that I made, oh my goodness, probably last year. This hanging basket I have here on my pantry is one of my new favorite things that I put together for spring. I found the basket on clearance from QVC. It came with the basket and the hanging hook there, and all I did was I just added a bunch of those Real Touch ivory tulips that I found on Amazon. I made a big checked fluffy bow, and then I just added some greenery that I found at Hobby Lobby to the side here, and I just think that it is so beautiful and it just looks really perfect here. It's a great size for this store, and it will easily carry me through until the fall. I just think that it's just so pretty and simple. The last stop on our spring tour is our family room, and it's another place that I really do love to decorate. It's probably the room that we spend the most time in other than the kitchen. It's an easy room to decorate because I have a lot of green in here anyway, and green is a big part of spring. My favorite thing to decorate in this room, of course, is my chalk painted cabinet. I have a lot of green dishes in here all year long, so that makes it really easy. And I really like to decorate the open counter space of this cabinet. For spring, I have a lot of lamb's ear. I have another one of those baskets that I found on Amazon. I have it full of lamb's ear and those really pretty ivory delicate little flowers that I have all over. I have a couple pictures here, one of my son when he graduated from college and one of my sweet mom. I have a couple springtime bunnies that I got from a DECOCRATED box, and this is one of my new finds, which I love. I don't really even know what to call it. It is a round tray. It is galvanized metal, and I don't know if you can see over there, but it has these little spots where you can add some dishes. So I have these really pretty false craft hen dishes that I have had for a while now, and I just think that it is perfect for this space. I have it resting on one of those wooden charger plates that I also have in my dining room, and I just think that it looks great. I have it decorated with some Rae Dunn pieces. I have my measuring cups here and a little vase with some faux flowers in it. I just think that it is so pretty. I will be sure to leave a link to it down below for you. I've added some spring florals to my blanket basket here. This is one of those really large baskets that I found at Target years ago. This blanket ladder that I also got from DECOCRATED is that wreath that I shared with you guys in my last video. I just added a few of those Real Touch tulips there, and I think it's good to bring it into spring, even though it is a pine wreath that I have had up, since the holidays. It's just so pretty. I just didn't want to put it away. On my coffee table for spring, I just added a little nest to my lantern there. I've added back all of my tan and cream checked ribbon in this room. I also have a little set of twine carrots that I think are so cute. I think they're perfect here on my tray on the coffee table. And of course, I decorated my typewriter back here with just a small little nest and some lamb's ear. This pretty much stays the same all year. I always have this sweet picture of my husband when he was a little boy, and I usually have a ribbon and this wooden bead garland. I just think that it looks so perfect on this little table. So that's all the springtime changes that I made here in the family room. It really doesn't take much to bring a room into the season. So right now I want to share with you probably one of my most favorite things at the beginning of any season, and that is my DECOCRATED box. The best time of the season has finally arrived, and it is when we get our DECOCRATED box. I just got my summer box, and it is awesome. If you are unfamiliar with DECOCRATED, they are a seasonal decor subscription box that comes out 4 times a year. Plus, they have awesome holiday boxes that come out during Christmas, Easter, 4th of July, and Halloween. I cannot tell you how excited I am whenever I get my boxes. I have been with them since almost the beginning, and I have to say again, they just keep on getting better and better and better. This summer box is truly awesome. So these are the pieces that came in this season's box, and one of the pieces I could not even wait to use, and that was this metal and wood Lazy Susan. I've already decorated it up, and I'm going to show you where I put it. You didn't even know that you got a sneak peek of this Lazy Susan in my last video. How perfect does this look here on my little antique desk? It is the perfect size for a display. I mean, I have a frame here. I have 4 books on it with a little bit of greenery, and it is just so beautiful. The other pieces that came in the box I'm going to use all together, so I'm going to show you each piece and then I'm going to show you how I used it. Let's start off with these beautiful wooden candle holders. They are such an easy way to add height and dimension to your coffee table or to your kitchen table, and black is a very neutral color. It can go in almost any home decor. You can add real candles or battery operated candles, which are the ones that I like to use in my house, and these can go literally in any room. By just looking around my house, you know that I love a lot of natural elements in my home, and these beautiful placemats are a perfect way to add a little bit of a natural element to any room. You can use these as placemats on your table, but I always like to have something like this inside of a tray in a display on a countertop or a side table, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to use these in just a minute. I had said earlier that I have been using a lot of stained and natural woods in my decor, and I think that these 4 napkin ring holders are perfect for any table. I think they would even be great outside for a family barbecue out on the deck. DECOCRATED also included 4 of these beautiful gray napkins. You can always use them as napkins, but I like to use them in my displays to add some color and texture. So I'm going to take you down in my lower level, and I want to show you how I am going to use all these pieces. So this is what I have put together from the summer DECOCRATED box. I think that everything looks so pretty. I have even used a piece from a past DECOCRATED box here that was a garland that I am using as a little bit of a wreath. On top of my wreath here, I have one of those beautiful natural placemats, which I think adds a lot of brightness to the display. I have a couple books stacked up there with my Rae Dunn tea set. I have even used one of the napkin rings to give my creamer some height. I have a napkin and a napkin ring here. In the back here, I have those beautiful wooden candle holders that you don't always have to use as candle holders. I have these beautiful cotton spheres that I had gotten years ago. I have them all over the house. And in the back here, I have this beautiful little farmhouse drawing that I found at Hobby Lobby. DECOCRATED is always so kind to give me a promo code for my viewers, so check the description box down below for the promo code to save you 15% off of your new subscription. I really don't think you can go wrong with this. I have been part of the DECOCRATED family since almost the beginning, and every box just keeps getting better and better. So thank you all so much for watching today. Please check the description box down below for the DECOCRATED link and promo code and the links to all the items that I mentioned in today's video. Join our communities over on Facebook and Instagram at My Bashful Life, and don't forget to subscribe. I'd love to have you all back as part of our YouTube family. So until I see you in that next video, I hope that you love the life that you have, be kind to each other, stay safe, and I will see you again soon. Bye!